with the Citizen. I am your host, Tia Carroll Jones. I'm here today with 38th District's Illinois State Representative Debbie Meyers Martin. Um, State Representative, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here.
For being here. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I am, as you said, State Representative of the 38th District. I have lived in the south suburbs for over 30 years. My district is contained within the south suburbs, so I have 15 municipalities that I represent, including Country Club Hills and Flossmoor, Frankfort and Harvey, Hazelcrest, Homewood, Markham, Matheson, Oak Forest, Olympia Fields, Park Forest, Richton Park, Tinley Park, and University Park. I'm the former mayor of Olympia Fields. I was mayor for 7 years and trustee for 10 years before that. I have 2 adult daughters that both live on the West Coast, and I am just very happy to represent the people of my district in Springfield. I'm still in the process of getting to know many of my constituents, and I welcome them to reach out to me because I thought it was important that people knew who their state representative was.
Absolutely. You were, as you said, the president of the Village of Olympia Fields, as well as a trustee of that village.
Yes.
What made you want to run for state representative?
Well, actually, many mayors that I had worked with formerly had suggested that I do that because it was an open seat. The current representative at that time, Representative Riley, was not running again, and it was going to be an open seat. They thought that I would have been a good representative for the district, and so they reached out to me, as well as other people who actually just live in the district, stakeholders who thought that it was a great idea. And so once I had those conversations, I realized that that was something that I thought that I would be able to represent my district well.
And so you spoke a little bit about the 15 municipalities that the 38th district represents. What makes those communities unique?
Well, they are unique in the respect that many of them are very successful in their economic development endeavors. Then there are other communities that are not as successful. We certainly have challenges in the Southland to attract businesses, to retain business viability in our district. So demographics are diverse as well. So I believe that it is a great combination of the Southland and the people that live there, based on those 15 different municipalities. But yes, I would say that they are diverse and unique in the fact that some of them are very, very successful in their economic development endeavors.
How has it been as a legislator during COVID-19?
It has been interesting. It has been challenging, as it has been for all of us. Last year in March, the governor had called for a stay-at-home order, an executive order. So starting in March, we were remote. And for quite a while, we were trying to figure out how we were going to be able to continue to legislate. At the end of May, we actually came back for 4 days to pass a budget, and then we were off, which we are normally off anyway. But then our veto session was canceled, and we did not actually go back to Springfield until January of 2021.
Oh, wow.
So that was over a year that we were in stay-at-home, actually just about a year. And we were in lame duck session for a week, and then we went back to being remote. But I'm happy to say that the new speaker, Speaker Welch, did bring us back to Springfield to vote on some new rules that allowed us to conduct committee hearings remotely. Up until that point, we had not been able to do that. We had not been able to move bills out of committee remotely. So we have been doing that, and I will say that in the off time that we weren't in Springfield, I was involved with PPE giveaways and food giveaways, and just many of the services and resources that we needed to bring to our residents based on the effect of the pandemic and how our villages were suffering. And we do know that the disparities in healthcare became quite apparent, especially in communities of color. So it was very busy, and I'm happy to say that I was able to be involved and participate in many of the activities and many of the resources that we were providing in the Southland.
Why is the environment something that is important to you, and how have you been able to advocate for environmental justice in Springfield?
Well, of course, environment is extremely important. Prior to me coming to the General Assembly, I had been appointed to the Environmental Justice Committee by then Governor Quinn. And so that was really important for me to stay involved and to be aware of the accomplishments and the progress that we're making in our state. I'm happy to say that I am a co-sponsor of the Clean Energy Jobs Act, which is something that is providing resources and elements to move the state towards renewable energy. And we are certainly hoping that by 2050 that we will be completely all renewable energy. By 2030, we should have been able to address most of the carbon production in the state. And so it has been really rewarding for me to be able to participate in that particular bill, in gathering support for that bill, and talking to constituents who are very invested and very engaged in the progress of the bill, bringing equity to minority vendors, solar for all, and some of the other renewable energy programs. So that has been very rewarding to me.
What have you learned during your first term in the legislature?
I think that what I have learned the most is that Springfield is all about relationships. You have to have great relationships with your colleagues. You have to be reliable in terms of if you're going to support someone's bill, if you're not going to support it, if you've changed your mind. These are all things that you have to communicate to your colleagues, as well as being able to really investigate and research bills. Sometimes people will ask you to support a bill, and I always have to say, and that's for organizations and agencies that come to me as well, that I cannot commit to supporting anything unless I've had the opportunity to read the bill, to maybe find out what the opposition to the bill is. And that has become sort of my benchmark in being successful in Springfield, is to make sure that I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm supporting.
How do you think your constituents would grade you as a legislator?
I hope that they would grade me well. I really have tried to be accessible and responsive to constituents. I have tried to make time available to meet with them. And I think that going back to my first year, my first session, it was the year of the Capitol bill. And so it was very important to me for my voice to be heard, to represent the people of my district. And so because of that, I was able to bring over $15 million in capital funds to the Southland, to the 38th District. We convinced the governor to put $162 million into the South Suburban Airport, which has been a fight for over 40 years. And so we are just one step closer to getting that done. I signed on to a gaming bill that will bring a South Suburban casino to the Southland, and so I am hoping that that information has filtered into the community, and they realize that I have been speaking on their behalf, and that I welcome their input. I welcome their recommendations or their suggestions for legislation. I've tried to make that a well-known entity within my district. So I am hoping that constituents who are looking to their local officials, their state elected officials, that they would know that I have been working on their behalf.
What legislation, either that you've voted on or sponsored, are you the most proud of, and why?
Well, I think the bill that I'm the most proud of that the governor has signed into law is the Bank On initiative. And that is a bill that, in partnership with the Comptroller's Office, we are trying to make the over 355,000 families in Illinois more bankable, to give them more access to retail banking products. And the Comptroller's Office is certifying those products to make sure that they are safe. They're waiving late fees, they're waiving overdraft fees. So I am very proud of that, because finally the commission is in place. We have gathered many financial institutions like U.S. Bank and Bank of America to sign on to this product, to help not only constituents or individuals, but also businesses, because some of our businesses missed out on some of the PPP money because they did not have relationships with lenders. And so we're trying to correct that, and I am very excited about the opportunity to make more families, more people in my district, as well as the state of Illinois, have more access to traditional banking institutions. I think the Brookings Institute has stated that in a individual's lifetime, if they don't have a relationship with traditional banking, they will spend somewhere around $40 million in fees over a lifetime. So this is something that definitely needs to be corrected, and I'm happy that I was the chief sponsor in the House of that bill.
How can your constituents get in touch with you if they have questions, concerns, or just need information?
Well, they can reach me through my district office, which is located in Matteson. It's 813 School Avenue in Matteson. My office is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, basically. I think that we have late hours on Monday, but that number is 708-833-7010. And then, of course, my email address, which is statereprebbmm@gmail.com. All of those ways are direct access to me, and I welcome that input, and I welcome the outreach to my office. But that is the best way. During COVID, we have not been having in-person meetings, but I have done Zoom meetings. And I think that maybe by the summer, by the time that we're back in district, probably in-person meetings will be more acceptable and will be safer to conduct. So I look forward to that.
Great. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, just that I am so proud and honored to be the representative of the 38th District. to be that strong voice in Springfield, because I realize that my background as a former mayor and being involved in local government has given me a perspective that is not widely used in Springfield. There are a lot of attorneys, there are a lot of business people in Springfield, but no one really understands that much. The challenges that local government has, that mayors have to maintain services. And so I try to be as sensitive and accessible to what local government needs in terms of legislation. Statewide mandates have always been an issue, so I try never to provide any kind of legislation that requires a statewide mandate. But I would say that I am very happy to be able to bring that perspective, very happy to be a member of the Illinois Black Caucus, and we certainly were successful during lame duck with our 4 pillars on criminal justice reform, health care, education, and then economic equity, opportunity, and accessibility. So again, I am very happy to be here with you today, giving me this opportunity to reach out to your audience, and also to reach out to my constituents to let them know that I am there for them because I want to be their strong voice.
Great. Well, thank you.
Before we leave, one of the viewers had a question. They kind of want to hear more about your participation in the Clean Job Act.
Oh, okay. Well, I am a sponsor. I have been involved with many of the hearings that have gone on amongst legislators and also in the environmental committee. So I have had many conversations and meetings with constituents regarding my participation. I have definitely talked to Pastor Scott on the changes to the bill, because as you know, when it was first introduced, it did not pass. So they're bringing it back with amendments to make it an even better bill. So that has been thus far my involvement. I continue to be a sponsor of that bill, and I continue to promote it and advocate for it within my district.
That's it.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Remember to make plans to join us again next week for Conversations with the Citizen, the place where real news can be heard.